Welcome to Messages of Hope, Episode 5. I can't believe that we're halfway through our 10 series episode. It still feels a little, actually I was going to say a little surreal, a lot surreal to me that I'm actually doing this. This being sitting in front of a camera rather than live people, because I'm used to teaching in front of a lot of audiences, sharing my teachings and knowing that I am reaching somebody out there in cyberspace. Our world has become so intangible, so ethereal, so electronic, and so much is being done in energy through the incredible advances in our technology. Most times I'm really grateful for that. I work from home, glad I can do stuff on the internet. And sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by it all. And where is it going? And how do we keep up with it all? Though the one thing I do know that it truly is the way of showing us what is possible with energy and energy waves, and proving scientifically how our thought forms pass through the ethers and can have a profound transformative effect on a person or a situation. Later in the show, I'm going to give you a specific example of that. And today, we're going to be talking about create love and light, and those lovely New Age words, through conscious intent. If you have been following this series, you will have heard me ask about that in each episode, about intention. I'm a strong believer in the energy of intent and how we can use that in the everyday small mundane things in our life, though most importantly in the really big, seemingly beyond our grasp, out of our physical reality things, to create what we so desire in our lives, as well as in the world, because they're one and the same. When we create great things in our lives, it has a profound effect on our external world. In the meantime, for those of you who tuned in last week to episode 4, it was about alignment of energies, and your home assignment, and I wonder how many of you have been following along with your home assignments, was to use the meditation I did at the end of the show to visualize the golden energy moving through you and around you every day, first thing in the morning when you wake up, last thing at night before you go to sleep. Were you able to do that most days, or even some days? Visualization is such a wonderful way to manifest, and the more that we do it, it's such an incredibly powerful tool, especially when we connect it with our spirit. And that is what we're going to do here with you on the show. This is what it's all about, is connecting you with your spirit, your divine essence. So for our time together today, I invite you to set an intention. It makes it even more powerful, seeing as our topic is about creating love and light. That might be a good place to start, by setting the intention to be loving to yourself, to be willing to see, feel, and even just know that you are a light in our world, here to shine upon any darkness that may be coming up for you or others, and shifting it, transmuting it, releasing it. Or maybe your intention is to just simply take this time for yourself, especially if you have circumstances in your life that are pulling you in so many different directions. Or to just be in good vibes that inspire you, which is my intention for our time together through these shows. This time is always is for you. Make it about you. Let it come on many different levels. Make it a priority. You will gain much awareness, personal awareness, self-reflection, and have tools that I give you to navigate all these ups and downs. So knowing that you're being immersed in sacred energy as you go through this series with me. So just take a breath and just feel that. Feel the sacred energy. Feel the connection to your spirit. Taking a breath is calming, as well as connecting you to again, whatever you choose to, God, Source, Spirit. And for those of you just tuning in for the first time today, this 10-episode series is based on my best-selling book, Messages of Hope from Us, the decade 2010 to 2020, Volume 1. So, we've only got another year, a little more than a year in this whole decade. Volume 2 is going to be published and out in print in early 2020. Uh, it's all channeled information about these 10 years that we've been in, receiving incredible amounts of light for our own personal transformation, global transformation, as well as energy shifts. And these messages will help you in becoming aware of how much you have shifted and how you've shifted energy and vibration and what you want to consciously create. And those are powerful words, consciously create, for the rest of this decade. So again, just over a year, and how can you affect your spiritual evolution as we finish up this decade, and who knows what the next decade will bring. I'm looking forward to see what kind of guidance I get on that. So in each episode I will share a little bit more about myself and my own spiritual journey, in the hope that you can relate, that it may be relevant to something that you're going through or may have gone through, that will show you that you are not abnormal, you're not weird, even though I felt that for a long time, especially if you've had mystical experiences and could not share them with anyone that you knew. We are all going through a spiritual awakening and seemingly strange experiences to help us to open our hearts. So when we come back, I have a pretty interesting story to share with you about one of my mystical experiences. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Before the break, I was about to tell you about an incredible mystical experience I had back in 1997. It was after my life had taken a huge right turn, and I was now in Connecticut taking my mentorship training. I was having dinner at a friend's house, and she had a very old looking 10 by 14 portrait on her wall that caught my attention. I just stood in front of it, and I could not move as I felt such a loving energy enfold me as I looked into the beautiful eyes of a young child and felt those eyes were looking right into my soul. Whew, it makes me feel like I want to weep just telling you the story. The feeling was so overwhelming that I wept and wept, standing there looking at this portrait on her wall. My friend was in the kitchen cooking, and would come out and just look at me and know I was having a profound moment, and just let me be with it. Good thing she was on a spiritual path, or she might have called a psychiatrist thinking I was having a mental breakdown. She would come back and check on me every a few more times, until eventually she just came over and took the portrait right off the wall and said, "Here, it's yours." It cost me $3 at a garage sale. It was very old, and the paper on the back of it was yellowed and brittle, but it had a label printed on it that said, "Light of the World." Detail from the original painting, St. Joseph with Child Jesus. Whew, I still feel it as I'm telling you this story. It went on to say, "And he dwelt amongst us, and the example of that life shines today as a gentle guiding light." It was my first experience of connecting with the loving presence of Jesus, and it changed me forever. Remember in episode 3, I told you that I did not even believe that the man that is referred to in biblical context even existed. Well, now I knew different. I could not eat. I couldn't even eat dinner. I couldn't hold a conversation with my friend. I just wanted to be alone and feel what was happening inside of me. I walked home clutching that painting to my chest and could not even go into my house once I got there, as I just didn't have any words to explain to my roommates what was happening to me. So I just stood outside for hours holding that portrait, feeling the energy in my heart and in my soul. I knew that a great transformation was taking place for me that night, though I had no idea why or even how to describe it. In episode 7, coming up in 2 weeks, I will be telling you about another really profound experience that I had in being in the presence of Jesus, as I know many of you have had mystical experiences and that you may not have talked about them, and it is time to share them. So take a moment and let yourself remember them now. And when we come back, I will read the channeled message, word for word from my book, Messages of Hope. And you will feel the transmission of not only the words, but of the energy that us United Souls of Heaven and Earth brings through me. And they are, non-physical spiritual beings. They're from another realm. And they're here to activate that divine essence in all human beings. So my experience with Jesus that night, that was an activation. That took me to another whole level of awareness. I will expand on the teachings around key points and explanations as we go along, so you can apply the messages in your everyday life. Again, words are beautiful, teachings are beautiful. It's about us living them now. So I encourage you to get a journal or some paper and make some notes, and we'll be right back. Oh, welcome back. I'm still feeling the effects of telling you my story about Jesus. The energy is just, I can feel my heart expanding and expanding as if I was reliving that moment and the profound effect it had on me. So for those of you who may have just joined us, I'm going to be reading from my book, my Messages of Hope, from us, United Souls of Heaven and Earth. And the message today is create love and conscious light, create love and light through conscious intent. As I read the words, just sit back and relax and allow yourselves to receive the channeled words and the energy. You may not, as I'm saying the words, you actually may not even hear them, but your body will receive them. Feel the loving energy that us shares with you through these teachings, and just let yourself be immersed in the vibrations. So, dearest beautiful beings of light, love and light, this is a term many of you use to sign off your writings. You do not really know what it means. And when they gave me this message, I think they were actually talking about me. I used to sign my emails all the time, love and light, Judith. And then they said, do you really know what that means? I'm going, yeah, I think I do. Love is, and they're going, no, you, there's much more for you to know about love and light, and that's part of your spiritual expansion that's going on right now. Back to their words. Are you using these words, or any words for that matter, consciously? Or do they just roll out of your mind because you saw them somewhere, or you heard someone say them, or thought they were nice? And again, yes, love and light, those words are nice words. I feel good when I say them. Yes, they are pretty and very new age, but are you aware every time you use them that they are a vibration that can and do impact, and that impact can be amplified with your conscious intent? So think about that for a minute. If you're using the word love, and it's just flippantly, oh, love this, or I'm sending love energy or whatever, it'll have an effect. But if you really send it consciously, think of someone who you just know really could use some love right now. Sit quiet and send it to them with your conscious intent. It's like it amplifies it. It gives us trajectory. And I can guarantee you, whoever it is that you're thinking of will feel it. Back to the teaching here, because remember, our intent amplifies it. By being conscious of the words you speak, write, or even think, you can change your world. Whew, that's a big statement. By being conscious of what you think, you say, or write, you can change the world. Well, hopefully that's what we're doing here today with this series, with all the other different spiritual teachers that feel such a mission in getting, in empowering people and helping them with their spiritual awakening. So we can change the world. We change the world every minute of every day by our consciousness, by raising our consciousness, by being more aware and open, by tapping inside. You can lift yourself up out of density. Remember we talked in another episode about that heaviness that we all feel. We all have had stuff happen to us that makes us feel dense and heavy. And we can lift ourselves up. Again, through meditation, through workshops, through an inspirational reading. There's lots of ways to do it. And you can lift others up. It does not always take a physical act or an action to change how things are. And I remember when they first talked about that, because so many of us want to get out there and make things better and change the world. And I remember how overwhelmed I used to be. I've stopped watching TV. I don't watch TV or the news at all anymore. And because there was so much travesty and things like, the starving children in Africa that I, as one person, couldn't do. I couldn't go there and save them all, so I felt helpless. But what I did learn, and through these, through these teachings, they're showing us the power that we have through our thoughts, through our energy, to shift energy, to hold a situation in our mind and see it shift and transform. So that's what they're talking about when they mean, we can change the world. And it doesn't have to be a physical action. We don't have to run out and change all these things we think are not working. Much more can be accomplished with your conscious intent and awareness of what you put out in thought energy, and then to put it out into the mass consciousness with passion. So passion is like a jet fuel. You ever come across someone who's really passionate about what they do, then you're right there with them because of the energy. It's good vibrations. And so they're saying much more can be accomplished with your conscious intent and awareness of what you put out in thought energy, and then to put it into the mass consciousness with passion. So the mass consciousness is like the big blanket of thought energy that everyone feeds into. A lot of it is fear, a lot of it is doubt, a lot of it is worry. And if you can go there, but if you consciously choose to think something different, think something happier, think something more joyful, think something more empowering, see the vision for what's possible to create in our world. There's so much going on out there that is really amazing and wonderful, and we can help expand that through our conscious intent and through our own passion. So I'm going to come back in a minute. This is the first half of the channel teaching, and I'll be back in a minute with the second half, so stay tuned. Welcome back. So where we broke off was I was reading the actual channeled words about love and light, giving conscious intent, and I'm going to continue with the teaching right from the book. Let's take the term love and light. As you sign an email, take a moment before hitting the send button to give those words some heart energy, not just perfunctory energy. Just we get things done just because they need to be done. It is like fertilizing your garden. If you want to have big, healthy, blossoming plants, you give them extra attention and add fertilizer. By taking a moment to give your wholehearted intent, that person receiving the email truly receives energy of those words. And you are fertilizing not only them, but yourself. You must feel it to truly be able to give it. Conscious intent is a powerful way of being. It can move mountains. It is like adding jet fuel to your thoughts or your actions. It can open hearts, and that is empowering to both the sender and the receiver. Think about that. So you're sending it, and it feels good to send it, but they are actually receiving it. And I have many examples of good energy, love thoughts that I sent to someone, and all of a sudden it shifted, maybe something that was feeling a little discordant between us. They get it. It allows more light to be anchored on your earth. So yes, we can do it in a very personal one-on-one, but literally when we do that, we're anchoring light on earth. And that is the intense transition you are all going through at this time, anchoring light through your physical bodies and expressing it through your heart, through loving thoughts and actions, raising the vibration of your earth, being the light beings you already are, and giving conscious intent to exude that light for all to benefit is why you're here. So we encourage you to do it consciously and to do it with joy. Beautiful words, feel that energy. And joy, as I said in one of my previous episodes, is the frequency that us comes through on. That's what they're here to bring through me. So feel it, express it, and just be it. We'll be back in a minute with the meditation. Welcome back. Just before the break, we were reading the words of the message from us, and did you feel the energy coming through the channeled message? Many people tell me about how they feel the energy very specifically, and it's different for each person. Sometimes it will be a physical sensation, like the chills going through you. I had that a few times during it today. Or it might be an aha moment when just one word or all of a sudden hits you and you go, wow, yeah. I love aha moments. I have lots of them through my day when I'm doing private sessions with clients. They'll say something or I'll say something, and both of us kind of look at each other and go, wow, got it. Or, we're on the phone, I'm on the phone with a friend or a mentor, and something will be said and just, whew, there it is. So aha moments are a big part of the transitions that we're going through. And the key is to just allow the energy to flow through you as you listen to the words. So again, with each episode, I'll be reading from the book, and you just let it flow through you. Let it go where it's going to go. It's not about having to do anything specific with it. So now I'm going to lead you in to a meditation. And the meditations really help you to integrate the teachings in your mind and in your body. Meditation is one of those tools that is just, I don't even know it's like the cream of the crop. Like if everybody could just meditate, it doesn't have to be an hour sitting in a yoga position and oming or sitting on a mountaintop. It's literally, if you can take 3 or 4 or 5 minutes out of your day and just sit quiet, let your thoughts just pass through, or focus on something nice like a flower or your grandchild or something, just to get back into that flow and that connection of who you are and the great abilities that we have. So I do the meditation with each episode for many purposes, to give you that little break in your day, but also it's mainly for the integration of what we've just talked about in this series, and to get it at a deeper level than just your mind trying to figure it out all the time. It's not about figuring out. We're never going to figure any of this out. Yeah, we might come up with a great solution for something, but then there's always something else that comes along. So for the meditation, just get yourselves comfortable, close your eyes, because when you close your eyes, you go inward. Let go of all the externals. Close your eyes and just feel on the inside. And we're going to start with 4 really deep breaths. And those 4 breaths connect your body, your mind, your spirit, and your heart. Just breathe and feel that connection happening. Now visualize sending love and light to anyone or anything that you feel would benefit from it. So it might be someone in your life that you know is going through a struggle. And we have, it might be your own. You're having your own struggle. Maybe you just want to sit and send love to yourself. Who doesn't need more love? I was having a bit of a moment last night, just feeling really emotional, and I thought, oh, I just need some love. So visualize that. Send love to yourself. Send love to somebody that you know could really use it. Send love to those that you really care about. And also, Send love to those that are a little harder to love. We all have those people in our lives. They're a little more challenging. Get yourself centered, feel that in your heart, and send them love. Send them the energy of love. And again, talked about it earlier, send energy to a situation, a world situation that could just send light. Imagine light coming from you, from your heart, right to that situation. There's many of them. I mean, the list is so long. You know, there's been weather things, fires, floods, there's government things, there's medical things, there's all kinds of situations out in our world that whatever one is calling you right now through this meditation, send love and light, however you imagine that, and see the situation is changing for the better. That's how we do it. There are many world situations and groups around the world that spend time focusing on shifting the energy to something more beneficial. So now what I'd like to do is to keep your eyes closed. I have a lovely handout that I use in my workshop. So just again, listen to the words and take it in. It's called love. Love is the most powerful healing force. Love, unconditional love for ourselves and others. Love is the vitalizing, nourishing, sustaining electricity of life. When we love ourselves and are able to offer this love to ourselves, we keep our body-mind systems charged and vitalized with electricity. It may sound difficult, but it is as easy as believing it is possible. As we open ourselves into greater expression of the wisdom and power, we give this gift to all of creation. Author unknown. So take a breath, take that in, and just gradually open your eyes. Sometimes it takes a minute to come back from a meditation, so you might want to be aware of where you're sitting, of what says you open your eyes, what's in the room, what's the first thing that you see, and again, allow yourself to tap into the feeling. So now, I'm going to move right on into your home assignment, as to it's again always to be able to put the words and energy that we used right back into your energy field. And it helps with your meditation. Is one of the simplest and most inexpensive ways for your health and your well-being. So the quote that I read to you is all about love, and is absolutely one of my most favorites. So, and it's a valuable teaching tool. I share it as often as possible because it is the truth and it is simple. We make things so complicated. So your home assignment is, for this week, and I give it every week, is who or what will you be more loving towards this next week, and how will you do it? Choose to consciously be more loving, even when it seems difficult in a certain situation or with certain people, especially towards a world situation that may leave you feeling hopeless and helpless. Send love and light to that situation. It feels empowering, and it does really does make a difference. As I said, many spiritual teachers are holding worldwide meditations. Then they can measure how that situation has changed. Wars have actually stopped after great groups have done their world meditation. So I encourage you to take note of when you've done it and how you've done it, and write it all down, because it makes it tangible. And acknowledge yourself for the progress, for all the self-growth. So before I take you into to talk about next week's show, you can go to my website, and it's judithonley.com, and there you can get all kinds of resources, and then you can the assignment then is for next week. Our show for next week is, let me just grab my sheet here. The descension of energy. So many spiritual teachers are talking about the descension of energy, ascension of energy. And for us, it's about the descension. And I'm going to talk a lot about that next week. And so welcome to the messages of hope, and please join us next week. It's been so lovely, and I'm sending you lots of love and light. Till then, keep on shining. Thank you.